everybody, it's Dana from Imagination Paint. I hope y'all are having a good night. I'm bringing up my page on my laptop so I can read comments as I go. I'm so excited that you're here. Give me just a second to make sure that this comes up. I want to make sure that I can see everybody's comments in case you type anything. It's coming up. If you're joining me tonight, say hey in the comments. Let me know if you're going to be painting with me or if you're going to go back and paint with the replay. Or if you just wanted to come by and check things out. I would love to know where you're from. I apologize in advance if you hear my dogs barking. They are outside running around right now. My computer's being so slow, you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. It is legit acting crazy. Okay, I think I got it up. Okay, awesome. All right, if you're on, just say hey to me in the comments. Hey, Jenny. I'm so glad you're here. Awesome. Tell me where you're watching from and if you're going to be painting with me tonight or if you think you're going to go back and paint with the replay. I would love to know. Hey, Heather. It's so good to see you on here. Oh, my goodness. Well, look, you guys, I'm going to gradually and occasionally check the comments as I go. So if you have questions or have anything that you want to share, feel free to just type it in the comments. I'm going to be honest, I'm like straight up nervous right now. I am not crazy about doing lives anyways. That is a huge secret. Don't tell anybody. But I get especially nervous when I share things that are really personal and when I am really sharing about my faith and spirituality because I take it so seriously and it's so important to me. And so I just want to make sure that I don't screw that up. Like, that is a really big deal to me, and I just want to make sure that anyone who is here tonight just feels encouraged and you know, I hope that you find some kind of comfort and help in, you know, in this painting and in just, you know, the conversation. And before we get started, I just really wanted to say a prayer for myself and for all of you as well, that this is just a positive experience for everyone. And so I'm just going to go on and do that really quick right now. So if you just bow your heads with me, that would be great. God, I just thank you so much for every single person who is on this, this live with me tonight, God. I know that every single person who is joining me is by divine appointment and that your hand is completely in them being here. Lord, I just trust that every single person who joins in on this live chat tonight and painting are here because you have something that you want them to know, or that you have something that you want to speak into their hearts and souls to give them peace and comfort. It's never easy, God, to talk about grief and loss and losing loved ones, or losing parts of ourselves even, God, that we once knew that we feel might not even be there anymore. And I just ask that you use tonight as an opportunity for us to just come to a point of peace and comfort, and help us to just realize that you're right there with us despite the pain and how bad it might feel in this moment, God. I ask that you please just give everyone an open heart and an open mind, and that you just bless them with the time that we have together this evening, God. And just, if there's one person that I can help, please just let that be so, and please just take all distractions from me, God, and the nerves, take them away from me, God. And I just ask that you speak directly into me with your spirit, and that you speak through me to these amazing people that are on here with me tonight, God. Thank you so much for all that you've given us, God. We praise you through this pain that we might be feeling right now, and we just ask for your peace and your comfort in knowing that it's all going to be okay, God. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, awesome. We're going to go on and get started with the painting first, because I definitely want to make sure that we're, staying on top of that. So we're going to start off. I know people voted for me to do purple tonight. I'm going to paint my angel baby's name. I have had 2 miscarriages. One I had in March of 2015, and that is actually where I did my painting that you saw before. I named my angel baby Cadence, and so I made this painting for her in her honor. And then in January of this year, we went through another miscarriage, and it was really crazy because on Christmas night I had a dream that my mom actually told me that I was pregnant. And of course in January I didn't find out that I was pregnant until January. So I feel like, God has his way of telling us things, and so that was just really special because I knew, and he had told me in the dream that it was a girl. So a week after I found out that I was pregnant, I miscarried, and of course it was really devastating and really hard, but I always felt that it was a girl. So my husband and I had talked about the name Braylee, and so I'm going to be painting Braylee's name tonight on my painting. And I hope whoever is on your heart, whether it's an angel baby, whether it's a child that you've lost, or whether it's another loved one that you've lost, I hope that you'll join me in painting their name, or even if it's just something that reminds you of them, paint that, because art therapy is a real thing, you guys. It's so real, and every time that I go through a painful time in my life, I pick up my paintbrush, and it just really helps. So join me and let's paint together. So everybody voted for purple, so I'm going to start with the purple. And what I want you to do is pick out about 2 to 3 different colors that are really pretty together. So like you could use pinks, you could use purples, you could use purples and pinks together, or you could use like different shades of blue, like dark and light blues, greens, like literally any color that you want to. And we're going to start off painting our background with that. It might be kind of hard for me to keep it propped up for this part because I have to actually squirt paint everywhere. So I'm just going to show you what I'm doing first. First thing, you don't even need your paper plates yet because we're going to pour paint directly onto the canvas. I'm going to pour white on first, and I'm going to pour it in the center because I want my center to be kind of light. So I'm just squirting it all down the center, and then I'm going to take my lighter purple and I'm going to squirt it above and below the white line, and then I'm going to take my dark purple and I'm going to squirt it above the purple line and then below the purple line. So it should go from white to light purple to dark purple. And then I'm going to get my brush. I have a larger size brush. If you don't have one this big, just get one that's a little bit larger in size. It's okay if it's not this big. And I'm going to start in the middle. So as you can see, this is what it looks like. Just so you can see. I don't want it to drip down my canvas or anything. I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm just going to start brushing back and forth, you guys. I'm going to brush back and forth, and I'm going to start blending into the light purple with it. And it's okay if they mix together. You kind of want them to, because you want your purple to be a little bit lighter in the middle. Or whatever color you're using. Forget everybody's not using purple like I am. And like I said, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. Oh, Jenny, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Wow, you're in Orlando, girl. That's awesome. I'm so happy you're able to join us. So does anybody feel like sharing anything about a loved one that they might have lost, whether it's just, you know, whether it's through pregnancy loss, miscarriage, or just someone in general that they lost? I would love to hear about who you are honoring and remembering tonight. And then after I go into the light purple, I'm going into the dark. You're not going to wash your brush off or anything. You're just going to keep going straight down into it. And just blend everything together. I'll show you in just a second what it looks like. So this is what it looks like so far. Okay, so I'm just going back and forth like this. Blending my colors in, and I'm going to do the same thing up top. And I even like to make sure I do the sides as well. So that you don't have just white sides on the ends. I don't like white sides on the ends. I like to blend mine in. That way when it's hanging up on the wall, it's really pretty. And I'll probably just blend those in when I get it up on my easel again. I just didn't want to have dripping paint. Is there anybody out there who's never painted before? I would love to know if you've never painted before. And it's so crazy. I was telling you a minute ago that my nerves were so bad. Like, as soon as I picked up my brush, like, I feel so much better. My nerves just go away when I'm painting. I don't know why, but it's always been that way for me. Alright, I'm gonna get the ends on this part right here. Okay. Alright, you guys, I'm gonna set this back up on my easel. Does everybody see everything okay that I'm doing? Okay. Alright, now I'm just going to paint the top of it just to get the edges. So, with this, it's really not a lot, you know, it's not a lot to it. It's not very hard to do. A lot of people tell me all the time, like, they can't paint because they're not creative, or they don't know how to draw, or they're not good at it. But the really cool thing is that you really can't mess up with painting, you guys. It's all about how it makes you feel when you're doing it. And so, don't worry if it's not like the most amazing masterpiece in the world that you've ever seen. It doesn't matter. It's the meaning behind it, and it's also just how it makes you feel while you're doing it. For me, it's just stress relieving. Like, I'm in my element when I'm doing this. I just got paint on my arm. I'm going to add a little bit of purple to my plate just so that I can get my... Is anybody else painting with me? Alright, so look at the sides. And the other thing is, I tell everybody in my paint classes all the time, don't be upset if it doesn't look exactly how you want it to the first time either, because who sits down and takes a piano lesson for the first time and you sound like Mozart when you play? It doesn't happen that way. You have to practice with it, you guys. So I really hope that if God's put it on your heart to tap into your artistic and creative side, if painting is something that makes you happy, start doing it more. I went through a long period of time where I just didn't paint enough, and it showed in how I felt. And it's just important to find something that makes you happy and calms you down and gives you contentment and peace, and do something for yourself. So I hope that this is the first of many times that I get to paint with you. I've even started up a membership program where people can join and paint with me on a regular basis every single month. So I'm just really excited about getting that going. And I can actually tell you about that a little bit later too. Alright, I've got this covered. And I'm just going to go back through and blend it in one more time. And just make sure that everything's even. Oh, yay! Heather's painting! I'm so excited, Heather! Awesome. Okay. I'm going to dip my brush in the water. It's staying there. So I'm going to let this dry for just a few minutes, because you want to have a dry background before you work on lettering or anything like that. If you try to do anything over top of it, then it'll blend in like really, really bad. I was going to share this with you guys. When I had my first miscarriage back in 2015, I went through a period of time like where, well, it's crazy with grief, because I'm sure as you guys know, it's one of those things, like, it's awful in the beginning, and then, you know, you start going through some time and it hadn't really sunk in yet, and then randomly, like, one day you'll wake up, like, you've been fine the whole week, and then one day you wake up and it just hits you like a ton of bricks, and it is the worst feeling in the world. And it's just really hard to even get through that day sometimes. And I remember having a lot of different moments like that when I was going through that time after my first miscarriage. And I remember my husband and I had talked about, you know, different nursery things. Like, we were so excited because that was supposed to be our first child. So we were like over the moon excited. You know how when you're going to be a parent for the first time, like, you are just like, oh, we've got all of this planning to do and it's going to be so wonderful. And, you know, you're literally like thinking about a million things at one time and how you want to do stuff and get in your nursery like prepared. And I mean, and then of course when this happens, you're just like, but that didn't get to happen. Like, what? I mean, so I remember one of the things that we had talked about was how we wanted to do our nursery. And my husband's always loved Calvin and Hobbes, the comic, and I have always loved The Wizard of Oz. So we had decided, okay, if it's a girl, we're going to do Wizard of Oz. If it's a boy, we're going to do Calvin and Hobbes. Well, of course, I also felt like that pregnancy was a girl. So we named her Cadence. And I'd been going through like a lot of rough moments, and I think it was several months after I had miscarried, I was like, I really feel like I need to paint. Like, I just needed to get something out. I wasn't sure what it was, but I needed to paint something that was symbolic to me of my loss, but was also hopeful. So I took our Calvin and Hobbes idea, and I know it sounds so crazy. It's like the craziest thing to paint, but I could not get Calvin and Hobbes out of my mind. So I made this painting right here, and I actually used oils for this. And to me, it was just kind of like what I was expressing in this painting was life sucks right now. To be honest, because it really did. And I was like, Calvin and Hobbes is basically just sitting at a pond, reflecting, watching the sun go down after a crappy day. But the sunset and just everything there is just supposed to be a sign of hope that, you know, even though you might not necessarily feel it in that moment, there's still that hope there. And so I don't know why God put it in me to paint this, but he just did, and it was just really therapeutic for me, and it just really helped me to heal a little bit with that. And my husband says that this is one of his favorite paintings that I've done because, of course, his love for Calvin and Hobbes, but he also understood the meaning for it and just had a special meaning. So even if you do this painting tonight, or if you want to do something else, I urge you, find something that is sentimental to you with that person and paint it, because it's going to make you feel so much better. It'll make you feel connected to them, and it'll make you feel better. Just try it, even if you don't think you can paint it. Look, you can go get tracers, trace it off the internet, find a way to trace it onto your canvas or your paper or whatever it is that you want to do, and just go to town with the brush. I promise you, it will make you feel so much better. Heather had her first miscarriage in February 2019 at 16 weeks. Oh my goodness, that's after your first trimester. We named her Kaylee Faith. My second miscarriage was January 2020. We named her Addison Grace. Heather, I'm so sorry for your losses, girl. I know what you mean. I couldn't imagine going through that at 16 weeks. It's rough going through it at any point, but that's further along, and it just makes it that much harder. I remember when I had my first one, I thought that I was actually like 15 weeks along, and it was the day before I was supposed to go in for my first ultrasound, and of course you get all these signs that something's wrong. So it was literally the day before we were supposed to go for my first ultrasound that I had to go in for my emergency, and they checked, and it was no heartbeat. The baby had stopped growing at 6 weeks, and I'm like, well, how does it go? Like, I didn't understand. It's like, how does it go that long and your body does not let you know that there's anything wrong? And so, I mean, it was just really, it was an awful time. It's very difficult to go through a loss like that, and some people don't always understand, and they're like, well, you never met this baby, so you shouldn't be attached to it, and oh, it's been such and such amount of time. Like, there's no timeline for grief. I don't care if it's a baby that you never met or if it's someone you've known your whole life. There's no timeline. It's not something that you ever completely get over. And I think that that's the thing with it, is that you have to come to a point and just know that it's okay to feel that hurt and that pain, but just because you feel the hurt and the pain doesn't mean you have to hold on to it either. You can let it go. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, so this is still drying a little bit. I'm not going to start painting on it until it's completely dry because I don't want it to get messed up. But what I wanted to share was how I came to a point in time several months after that first time, and I actually had started a support group for pregnancy loss, because apparently so many people experience it. I did not realize when I was going through it, our doctor told us that 1 in 3 women experience miscarriages, and that's like mind-blowing, because you don't ever hear anybody talk about it. I mean, occasionally you do, but it's not like this big thing, like talked about conversation. And so I remember when I had gone through it, and I had shared it on my Facebook page, that a lot of people came forward and shared that they were going through the same thing or had experienced the same thing, and it just blew my mind. Like, I did not realize that was like such a common thing. And so, because like I kind of thought that, you know, when the doctor told me that, I was like, there's no way that many people experience it. Like, that is insane. But then when I had so many people to come forward and tell me that they had, it blew my mind. But it was also one of the most comforting things, because in that moment you feel like, okay, I'm not alone. Like, all of these people have gotten through this. I can get through this too. And so just know that, you know, if you feel like you're having a hard time talking about it to certain people, find other people who've experienced the same thing and talk to it, because I guarantee you that they're going to be willing to listen, because they understand. Find a support group, find a way to talk to somebody about it. And the other thing was, I think it was about 10 months after my first miscarriage. So I miscarried in March, and then I believe it was back in October of 2015. There's this one night that defined like everything that I remember. Like, there's a specific night that God gave me a point of peace about everything. And I really wanted to share that with you, because I feel like He's just really put it on my heart really heavily to let you know, first of all, that He's right here with you, even though it doesn't feel like it. It feels scary. You feel alone. You feel angry. You feel sad. You feel lost. You feel depressed. You feel like you can't breathe. You feel like you're not gonna ever get out of this dark hole that you're stuck swimming in. It's almost like you're drowning. He's right there with you guys. And one night I was driving home, and I was on the way home, and like, everything of course hits you, especially when I'm driving. I don't know what the deal is with that. Like, anytime I drive anywhere, that's when I'm always like thinking a lot and like listening to my music. And I just felt like, I was like, oh gosh, I've got to turn on worship music. Like, I have to listen to my worship music. And I was like crying and sobbing, and I'm like, I've just got to get to the house. I cannot do this. I literally felt like I could not breathe. And I pulled into my driveway, and I just stopped, because I didn't want to go to the house and go inside and be all like upset when I was going in. So I pulled in. I literally turned all of the lights off in my car, and I turned my worship music up like so loud because right then and there, and I challenge you right now, like, if you have worship music, go and put it on, you guys. Go put your worship music on and just listen to it while you paint, because while I was sitting there, I turned up my music so loud, and I could just feel like the spirit around me, and I could feel God's presence, and I felt like angels were just surrounding me and singing to me. And right then and there, I just cried, and I cried like ugly cry, like so loud, obnoxious, ugly, like the worst cry that you can cry, like 2-year-old sobbing. But in that moment, I was able to release all of that pain. And I cried out to God, and I just asked God to please just take all of that pain from me. And I just released it to him, and I told him I couldn't do this. And I think that that's the point that we just have to allow ourselves to get to, you guys, is when you feel that deeply hurt, you have to allow yourself to be vulnerable. And it's really hard because, especially as women, you know, we're like, we've got to be strong for our family, and we've got to, you know, put on this happy face and be strong and be okay for everybody. But honestly, guys, the truth is that you don't have to do that. You don't have to be like that all the time. It is okay to feel how you feel. It's okay to feel how you feel. And if you need to get this out, I challenge you tonight, go into a quiet room by yourself, lock the door, turn up your praise music, and talk to God. Literally cry out to God. Ugly sobbing cry if you need to. Nobody else is watching. Nobody else cares. It's going to make you feel 1,000 times better. And just pray and release all of it to him. Give it to him. Tell him you cannot do this, that you cannot carry this load anymore, and that you don't want to. And he will come in and he will take it. You will feel like a weight has lifted off of your chest. You will feel it come off of you. And do it as long as you need to. Do it as long as you need to. Because the minute that you allow yourself to feel the way that you really do feel, the minute you stop trying to hide those feelings and you just accept it, that's where you start to find peace. And that's where you start to heal, you guys. It's so, so important. It's like, if there's anything that I learned out of all of this that I've gone through, is that right there. That you just have to let yourself feel the way that you do, and give yourself permission to feel those feelings, and just know that it's okay, and he will give you that peace. I'm not sitting here saying that it's never going to hurt again, because there's always going to be pain there because of the what ifs and the memories that you might have had, but there's a way to get there with peace in your heart about it, and know that our loved ones are okay. They're in a better place. God's got them. He's watching over them. They're not in any pain. And they are happy, you guys. They're better than they were here ever. And it's crazy to even wrap your head around that. There's no way to even imagine that. But it's just, it gives me hope in knowing that it's gonna be okay, y'all. Like, it really is. That got really heavy there for a minute. I'm so sorry, you guys. We haven't even finished the painting. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go and I'm gonna trace my letters. You can freestyle this if you want to. I'm still learning lettering, so I'm going to trace mine, and I just like showing everybody that it's okay to trace too. You don't have to be Picasso. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can trace this and it'll still look great. So I'm just going to trace this. I would love to hear you guys share a little bit about your loved ones, if you've lost anybody really close to you. I also went through another loss 11 years ago in 2009 with one of my best friends who was literally born 8 days after I was. And we had grown up together, like we knew each other in diapers. And he was just one of my absolute best friends. And he was at a New Year's Eve party, and he was driving home, and his car flipped, and he died. And that was the first real experience that I had with loss. And that was really rough, a really rough time that I had gone through. I've never completely gotten over that. That's really hard when you see someone who's your age, who's so young. He was 22. When you lose somebody like that you were close to your whole life. But I rest in the peace of knowing that he's okay, and I don't know, it's not easy going through something like that. I'm still tracing, but I'm almost done. After I do this, I'm going to go through with my white, and I'm going to go back over top of the letters. If you don't have carbon paper to trace your name, you can actually flip your paper over and scribble with a pencil, like just a regular pencil. You can scribble all over the back of it. You just scribble from side to side, and then you scribble up and down, and that will actually get that graphite all over the back of where you're going to be tracing over, and then you just flip it over onto your canvas and you trace the outline of it with the pencil, and it'll put the markings onto your canvas. But you guys, I'm telling you, when I'm telling you, like, I understand anxiety and depression, like, I really do, because it's something I've struggled with my whole life. People, you know, will look at you and think, oh, she's this, you know, happy-go-lucky person, and she's so strong, and this and that. Oh my goodness, this isn't even... You guys, I traced it on the wrong side. Look, I wasn't even paying attention to what I was doing. Okay, hold on. Let me try this one more time. I'm so sorry. You have to put the shiny side on the bottom. I had it on the top. It just didn't work out too well. Let me try this one more time. Oh my gosh. You two can teach paint parties. Oh, okay, God just was using that as like a comic relief. I'm just letting you know. He said it was getting too heavy in here. Dana needed to make a stupid, crazy mistake so everybody would laugh. Okay. Everybody doing okay? Okay, Heather. Okay, I'm so sorry. So I'm using carbon paper to trace my name. If you don't have carbon paper, let me show you right here. I'm gonna use this for an example. If you have like your piece of paper, make sure your painting is dry before you try to do this. You're gonna flip it over onto the back, and let me grab a pencil so I can show you how to do it. Super easy. So, with your pencil, if you don't have carbon paper, do this. And you'll see where your lettering is. You only need to do it over your lettering. You don't need to do it on any of the white empty space. You're going to take your pencil and you're going to scribble up and down. So I'll show you like this, just so you can see a little bit of it. You want to get it nice and filled in over the lettering so it's all over top of it. So you're going to trace it up and down, scribble up and down first. And then after that, you're going to go side to side with it. That way it's done really good. And you're going to do it all the way across the name. Just like this, see? You're going to do it all the way across the name. So up and down with your pencil, all the way across. And then side to side with your pencil, all the way across. And then once it's nice and covered over the lettering, you're going to flip it back over and lay it on your canvas. And then take your pencil and trace the lettering. If it's a thick spot, make sure you're tracing all around the thickness of it. That way you can fill the thickness in with your paint. If it's thin, I usually just trace right over top of it because I don't need to retrace like extra lines or anything. So, but that's how you do that without carbon paper. I cannot believe that I sat there and I traced that on the wrong side. Okay. So let's try this again, you guys. I'm still going. Still tracing. Okay. But yeah, like I think it's just so freeing to be able to like do stuff like this, because a lot of times we feel so alone in our grief. Like, we just need to know that other people are going through it too. Like, there's other people that are just right there with us. And I feel so led to use, I knew like I was supposed to use whatever business that I did as a ministry, but I just, like, I know, this is how I know that this is what I'm supposed to do, because art has helped to heal me. And I know that I'm just supposed to help show others how to do that through this. And so I'm just really excited about being able to meet new people and share my story with them and to learn from them, because I really do believe that we help each other through things. And this is equally as like healing and freeing for me by just coming on here and sharing with you guys. And it's just really awesome. And that with the membership that I was telling you about, you would actually get to start painting on a regular basis, which makes me so excited, because I really feel like a lot of times we don't take enough time for ourselves, especially as moms. You know, we're so focused on everybody else because we've got to take care of everyone. And we sometimes put ourselves on the back burner and forget about ourselves. And so that's why I love the idea of this membership, because it gives us the opportunity to connect with each other and just support each other and have an outlet through painting together and through art. And I just think it's just so important to grow spiritually together. And okay, look, so I'm going to show you. This is exactly how that works. So I used my carbon paper, but it should look the same once you do that with the pencil on the back. So you've got it traced out, right? Now I'm going to set this back up here, and I'm going to show you how to fill it in with the brush. So I'm going to use white for this. Hey, Rebecca! I'm so glad that y'all are here. Alright, let me grab... Let me find out which... Okay, here we go. Alright, so I'm just going to use a small brush for this. This one's smaller and it's, you know, pretty firm, so it gives me a little bit more control. It's kind of short. It just gives me a little bit more control over my lettering, and all I'm going to do is just start filling in where I traced. Now, if you don't have an easel, lay it down flat, y'all. It's almost easier for me to do this flat than it is like this. When I'm doing lettering, it's a little bit harder doing it standing straight up. You don't have to be perfect at painting, you guys. Just pick up a brush and have fun with it. That's the important thing. Now, with the membership that I was telling you about, if you feel like this is something that you could use more of, like if you could use a little bit of paint in your life, if you could use a little sisterhood and just something that's just fun and stress relieving that you can do for yourself, I would be like stoked for you to be in my new membership program. It's called the Imagination Spirit Painters, and I chose that name because I really want to focus on painting with your spirit, kind of like we are right now. We're just releasing a lot of things from our spirit, and it's just so important that we, you know, paint to heal and to find peace and to have fun, and it can be a form of worship. And I just really encourage you, if this is something that you enjoy doing, you should do it more often. And I would love to have you join my group if that's something that you feel you would enjoy doing. It's going to be open through May 16th, midnight, 11:59 p.m. And after that, the doors are going to close for a while before I let new members in. Right now, I'm allowing anyone who joins as a founding member, meaning you're going to be one of the very first members of my Spirit Painters tribe. You will actually come in at the lowest price that the membership will ever be. It's $30 a month, and that gets you 2 member exclusive paint parties every single month. And you also get, hold on just a second, I'm trying to get this one little spot right here. Sorry, I get lost in concentration, you guys. So you get 2 exclusive paint parties every single month. I'm still going to keep up doing the public virtual paint parties where everybody can, you know, register to come in and join. But if you're like a part of the group, if you're a member, you actually automatically get put into those public paint parties for free. And any time that I do an in-person paint party, which obviously will be once all of this quarantine stuff is over with, then you actually get a $10 discount on those as well. And I supply the supplies for you in in-person paint parties. There's so many ideas that I have for this membership. I haven't even gotten it all figured out yet. That's why I'm so excited about my founding members joining me, because I really just want you all to help me to put this together, and I want feedback, and I want your ideas and to know what you would love to see in this membership group. I even envision like spiritual and self-development, spiritual growth, self-development kind of stuff. Maybe even like occasionally doing like Bible studies or devotions together or something like that. I just want it to be like really special and fun, and just a way for us to bond and heal through art and just have some peace. Because this whole quarantine thing is crazy, and everybody's going to be so happy to get out of the house again. But like, imagine the chaos and the hectic like life we're going to be going back to as soon as it you know, is over with. So this will be such a nice thing to come home to and be able to do for yourself and have a break from the craziness of life. So if you think that you would enjoy being in that membership program, a part of the Spirit Painters, I would love to know. You can message me. I can even share the link with you guys afterwards. It's only $30 a month. And let me tell you this too, I left this out. There's a really big sign-up bonus, you guys, if you join. If you go on and join, you actually get all of the virtual paint parties scheduled for May for free. So there's 4 kids virtual paint parties scheduled and 4 regular paint parties scheduled. And I know the one that's on Monday is like a $20 value by itself. The rest of them are $15, and then all the kids ones are $10. So you're getting all of those for free when you join the membership for $30. So that is like super exciting. You're going to save a whole lot of money. But I'm just excited to get this group going and just see what everybody's ideas are and really just let you all help mold and shape this thing into something that's so fun. All I'm doing, you guys, is just tracing these lines with this brush. And I'm going to show you how you can do some quick flowers, because I know that we're not like going to stay on here all night long. I know you don't want to be here all night doing this. How is everybody feeling right now with this paintbrush going through your hands? Is everybody feeling good? Heather, how are you feeling, girl? Is this helping at all? If you're watching the replay, that's totally fine. If you are painting, whether it's with me live or if you're doing the replay, I would love to see your painting afterwards. It would mean so much to see what you created. If you do, feel free to make it into a post on your Facebook page and tag my Imagination Paint page, or you could tag me in there with it along with my page as well if you want. So I've gone through and I've made her name. Let me show you how to do flowers really quick. Everybody was telling me to maybe try some blues, so I'm going to try some blues for flowers instead of the cliche pinks. I think blues would be pretty. So I'm taking a light blue and then like a turquoise blue. Whatever color you want to use for these, just make it a light color and a dark color. And I am going to where's my brush that I like? Okay. This is 5/8 of an inch. It's like a medium-sized brush. I'm just going to take this. And so, see how I did my dark and light color? I've got it right beside each other on the plate. I'm going to actually take the brush and dip it right in the middle so I get half and half of the color on it. I'm trying, what do I do after the pencil up and down and then left to right? Okay, Heather, after you've got the pencil scribbled all over the back, lay your sheet, make sure that the scribbled part is touching the canvas, and what you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil and just trace the outline of the letters onto the canvas. Oh, my son's peeking through the window and trying to talk to me. Go see Daddy. Yeah, you've got to. Mommy's teaching paint parties. You have to. Go see Daddy. I love you. Okay, so I want to show you how to do these flowers. So you're going to take your brush, and it's dipped in the blue half and half. And I'm just going to go around in a small little circle. And you're going to do like almost like little circles, little loops, or little parentheses. And I'm going to let you see what it looks like. If it looks like a blob, then you're doing it correctly. That's exactly how it's supposed to look. Cam, go see Daddy. Go see Daddy. No, go see Daddy. Working from home rocks, y'all. Alright, so I've got that one in the middle. I'm going to come down almost at a diagonal on this side. And I'm going to do another one like that. And another one like that. And then I'm just going to keep filling it in until it looks like a blob. And you're just going to keep making blobs. and then you just fill it in. That's the start of your flowers. Okay? I feel like I need to fill this one in a little bit more. And bring that one up some. See, this is the cool thing with painting. You really can't mess it up. So you can always go back over top of it. Let me do one at the bottom too. Heather, were you able to figure out the lettering part? Let me know that you got that worked out. I'm going to do this one right here. Alright. I like these blue flowers with this purple. I'm going to bring this one right here. Another thing that's really helpful in the healing process and just in finding peace and confidence even, and finding things out about yourself is discovering your spiritual gifts. God gives every single one of us gifts, and a lot of times we don't even like realize something is a gift, or that we have, you know, certain gifts, and we downplay what we have. And so if you don't know what your spiritual gifts are, I really encourage you to explore that and to dig into that, because once you start realizing those and you start using them, you're going to feel so much more at peace and just really fulfilled. What I'm doing with this, I've taken white. I'm sorry I didn't explain that. Another, and it's got a little bit of a longer brush to it. I'm dipping it in white, and I'm starting to make little parentheses on my flowers, just like this. So they're almost like little C's. And I'm just going around in different areas of my flowers. That's just giving it a little color contrast. It makes it kind of look like petals. Okay, good. I'm so glad that you got that, Heather. Jenny said that this could be clouds too. They could be clouds, Jenny. They do look kind of like clouds, don't they? On my other one, I did feathers for, like, you know, angel wings. It made me think about feathers. I'm going to leave those off of this one. I wasn't super crazy about the feathers. So I've got the white marks on those. Again, you're just going to make them look like little parentheses and just keep going around in them. And then I'm also, hold on, you know what? I'm going to use a little bit more of this purple. I'm taking that dark purple that I squirted out earlier to do the sides. It's a dark purple right here. And I am going to blend that in with my flowers too. Just because I think that would look really pretty. So I'm just going to do the same exact thing that I just did with my white. And I'm just going to do the parentheses with the purple. Alright. See, it's starting to look a little bit more like a flower. And I just keep going around it until it looks like I like it. Just like this. Alright, and then last, I'm going to take some black and do the exact same thing again. We're going to make those flowers pop just a little bit. I'm trying to remember which brush I used. Okay. So I'm taking that black, and I'm going to do the same thing. And then for the middle of the flowers, I like to do like almost a V shape, but I make it really thick. I'm going to let you see it in just a second. I make it thick like that. That way it looks like the center. And you can do it, face it in different directions. It doesn't have to be pointed in the same direction all the time. I'm making that one kind of go upwards a little bit. And then so I'm just making it really thick in the middle. And I'm just gonna keep going around with it like that. Just like that. See how much better that looks? It just makes it pop. And then to finish off my flowers, I'm going to do some petals, some leaves on the sides. So I'm going to use a light green and a dark green. And we're going to do just like we did with the two blue shades. We're going to put them right beside each other on your plate. Right beside each other. And then we're going to take that brush. Let me grab a different brush. Alright. Mine's a medium-sized brush. And we're going to dip it half and half, just like we did the other one, okay? And we're going to take it, and we're going to make little leaf shapes on it. Just take it and fill it in. Make sure it's half and half. So I've got one coming out of my corners right here. I'm doing it just like that. So we might want some right there. They don't need to be perfect. You don't want them to look too particular. Make yours on the sides maybe. And maybe even bring it right here. Just wherever you want them. So we've got them right here just like this. All I did was make little curves and connect them together. And that light and the dark gives it contrast and makes it look more realistic. So we're going to do the exact same thing right here. We're going to do this one. And then we're going to come on this side and do that too. Alright, y'all. Check that out. How cool is that? Awesome. So what you can always do too if you want, you can even take a black and go back and outline around your lettering if you want to. I mean, just be creative. Do anything that you want to it. This is your painting. You can even go back in and get glitter glue, put some on your plate, and take a brush and put some glitter on there. Make a little sparkle with it. Not everybody's a glitter person. Don't do it if you're not. But if you like sparkle and pizzazz on your painting, sparkle it up. Add a little flavor to it. I did glitter with my other painting and I loved how it turned out. So I might even go back in and add a little bit of this to it. But I hope that y'all had so much fun with me tonight, and I really appreciate you joining in. And I know it was tough subject matter, but I just feel like it's something that we all really need to just, you know, talk about and we need to know that others are out there with us, and it's, you know, we're not alone in our feelings, and it's okay to feel the way that we feel, and give ourselves permission to just let it all out when we need to. And I hope that you painting just made you feel a little bit more free, and helps you to heal a little bit. And if you had fun, again, like I said, I would love to have you in my Spirit Painters group. I would love for you to join us. Again, it's $30 a month starting off. You'll get 2 paintings a month from me that are member exclusive only, and you'll also get access to any virtual paint parties that I have, as well as $10 off of in-person paint parties. And when you go on and sign up, you do get free access to all 8 paint parties next month as well. So I would really love for you to join me in that. And please, please, please share your painting if you've done it. I really would love to see it. Be sure to tag my Imagination paint page and my personal page if you'd like to. And before we go, I just wanted to just give everybody the opportunity to I guess kind of reach out to God. And if you've made a decision in your life before to give your life to Christ, that's awesome. And if you haven't, that's okay, because I actually want to give you the opportunity to do that tonight. Or you might be in a position where you have made that commitment to Him, but you feel like, you know, I've been a long time and I just need to let these things go and have a fresh start and just rededicate my life to Him. That's okay. I have done that, and it's been one of the most amazing things that I've ever done. And this whole past year, I've just really plugged in to God, and I've felt His presence more over the past year and a half than I ever have in my whole life. And I just want others to be able to experience that. And of course, you know, people, when you lose someone, you know, you want to be sure that you're going to see them again one day in heaven. And I just want to offer you that opportunity to do that tonight. Romans 10:9 says, if you declare with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised Him from the dead, that you will be saved. So I would just like to invite you, no matter where you are, no matter what place you're in your life right now, He will accept you just the way that you are. And I would just like you to pray this prayer with me and to ask Jesus into your heart and to bring you salvation. So just close your eyes and just say, Heavenly Father, I come to you a sinner in need of a Savior. Thank you, Jesus, for dying for me. I believe God raised you from the dead, that I've been set free. I accept your mercy. I embrace your grace. And I'm choosing today to follow you for the rest of my life. And in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And if you just asked Jesus into your heart, if you prayed that for the first time, or if you rededicated yourself just now to God, I just want to say congratulations. I'm so happy. And I ask that you please share in the comments with us or message me. Let me know. And I would love to stay in touch with you and just support you and encourage you. And I just hope that tonight has been helpful to somebody. I hope that you found some kind of peace, whether it's through painting or just hearing someone else's story. And I hope that you just know that He's right there with you and it's all going to be okay. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight, and I really appreciate it, and I hope that y'all have a blessed night. Bye!